My childhood sweetheart had 2 childhood friends. Her other one just transferred to our school. He propped one foot on the chair in front of me. I'm Selena's childhood friend. That seat you're in? Should be mine. I finished the last problem on my worksheet. I looked up. Fine. It's yours. The day we went to pick him up from the station. His arm was pressed casually against my childhood sweetheart's. Why didn't you come alone? Who's this guy? Selena glanced at me. Him? Oh, he's my fiancé. But that doesn't change anything for you. You're still number 1 in my heart. Selena was smiling. He frowned and gave her a playful punch. Oh, shut up. After they horsed around for a bit, she finally looped her arm through his and came over to me. Let's go. Caleb is transferring to our class on Monday, and then I can take care of both of you. She giggled to herself after saying it. He immediately got what she meant and gave her a light shove. Get out of here. You really want one on each arm, don't you? He shot me a look. He lowered his voice. Guess your taste has really gone downhill since I've been gone. In front of the taxi, the new guy said something to her. Selena looked at me hesitantly. Louis, it's Caleb's first time meeting you. It might be a little awkward if you two sit in the back together. She didn't finish. I pulled open the front passenger door. Right. You two can sit together. The guy was thrilled. He put his arm around Selena's shoulder and led her to the car door. Ladies first, beautiful. I don't want to be squeezed in the middle anyway. They were laughing and joking the whole ride. Only then did Selena remember to make an introduction. His name is Caleb. You know how I went to stay with my grandma for a while when we were little? We met back then. He was the only boy in the whole neighborhood. A total wild child. Caleb threw an arm around her neck, pretending he was going to cover her mouth. Hey, beautiful, don't be telling my secrets to outsiders. Inside the car, the only sound was Selena begging for mercy. I suddenly realized this was a really stupid trip. I shouldn't have come with her. It was just a waste of time I could have spent studying. As I turned to leave, she grabbed my wrist. Don't go, Louis. There's a welcome party tonight. You should come too. You know that besides you, I can't even be bothered with other guys. Stay. Keep Caleb company. A light breeze was blowing just then. It rustled the slightly long bangs on Caleb's forehead. My resolve softened. But as soon as everyone arrived, Caleb was already hitting it off with the guys in our class. Video games, sports, he was a natural at everything. Someone sighed. Man, both of Selena's childhood friends are seriously impressive. He gloated. Selena's said it for years. I'm the most handsome guy she knows. She yelped, ow, ow, ow. The crowd burst out laughing. I was the only one who didn't fit in. I took the hint and left. But Selena came clattering out after me. Louis, I was having fun with them and didn't pay attention to you. I looked away. It's fine. I'm going home to do some practice problems. She hesitated for a long time. Then she told me tentatively, Caleb just got to Northwood, and his housing isn't sorted out yet. So, he'll be staying at my place for a few days. I nodded calmly. She looked surprised. You're not mad? Everyone in class knew Selena and I were close. Our families had even joked about it at dinners. Why don't we just have the kids get together someday? We can be one big happy family. The adults were all laughing at the time. Selena had looked at me, her eyes sparkling. Ever since then, she was always by my side, including this trip to the airport. She was the one who begged me to stop grinding through practice problems and go with her. She had dropped hints left and right. What if I get tricked by some other guy when you're not around? Come on, Louis. You know I like you the most. I can't even imagine how happy I'd be if you could come with me. I suddenly realized, sometimes, being soft-hearted is a sickness. Inside, someone shouted Selena's name. She ran back, looking anxious. Caleb was smiling. See? I told you. All I have to do is call her name, and Selena will come running back, no matter where she is. Someone laughed loudly. What's with the whole replacement boyfriend routine, Selena? You're something else. Laughter erupted behind me. I pushed the door open. I made a mental note that I'd gotten 2 problems wrong today. The next time I see them, I'll be sure to pay attention. Monday. I got to school early. Just as I finished half a practice test, Selena stormed into the classroom. She marched straight toward me, furious. Why didn't you wait for me this morning? I was confused. Weren't you with Caleb? Her expression froze. It's not like three people can't walk together. We waited for you for a long time this morning before realizing you'd already left. I nodded. My bad. Her expression softened a little. Before she could sit down, I added, you guys don't have to wait for me anymore. She froze. What's that supposed to mean? I stayed silent. I lowered my head and went back to the problem I was halfway through on my scratch paper. Suddenly, someone in the class gasped. Whoa, he's so cool and handsome. By the teacher's podium. Caleb stood there in a designer t-shirt, a wide grin on his face. Hey everyone, my uniform hasn't arrived yet, so I have to wear my regular clothes for now. He winked, looking incredibly charming. You could hear people catching their breath all over the room. He held his head high and walked straight toward me. I'm Selena's childhood friend. This seat is supposed to be mine. The entire class fell silent. When I had finished the last stroke on my worksheet, I took a moment to look up. Sure, it's yours. Caleb was stunned. Selena lowered her voice and hissed at me. Fight him for it. Can't you talk back, Louis? He asks for your seat, and you just give it to him? I was confused. Isn't he your childhood friend? Instantly, Selena swallowed whatever she was about to say. I had to move all my stuff to the front row before the teacher arrived. I had a lot of books, so it took me 2 trips. Originally, I wasn't even supposed to be sitting next to Selena. She was the one who kept saying she didn't understand the lessons and begged me to help her with problems. Since our parents were good friends, I had only temporarily switched seats. Back in my own spot, I felt deeply satisfied. A top student belongs here, anyway. The front row was great. The view was clear, and if there was a problem I didn't get, the teacher could see it in my eyes right away. The only downside was the chalk dust. After the board was erased, a thick layer had already settled on my worksheet. As I shook it off, Selena suddenly slammed the board eraser down on the podium. A cloud of pink dust refracted in the light. It was so thick you had to cover your nose to breathe. I frowned. Selena, did you do that on purpose? She clapped her hands together forcefully. She sneered at me. The front row is where all the dust ends up. I told you before, my spot is the best in the whole class. Too bad you're the one who gave it up. I turned around. I looked at Caleb, who was surrounded by a group of girls. I raised my voice. Didn't you say Caleb was number 1 in your heart? I gave him my seat. Why aren't you happy about it? Sure enough, the noise from the back row stopped. Caleb looked over. Selena immediately panicked. Louis, what are you talking about? Are you insane? I slammed my prep book on the desk, kicking up another cloud of dust. In math, a function has a unique 0 point. You get that, right? Or did you really need the 2 of us flanking you on either side? Caleb walked over, his steps quickening. What does he mean by that? Selena stammered. She couldn't get a word out. I grabbed a tissue from my new deskmate in the front row and wiped my desk. In my mind, I was trying to remember. Where had I left off on that problem? The bell rang. My deskmate came back, and I explained a bit awkwardly. Sorry, I was in a hurry and grabbed one of your tissues. I'll buy you a new pack after class. She stared at me. Thoughtfully, she said, you don't have to replace the tissues. Her eyes scanned the half-solved difficult problem on my worksheet. That's a clever auxiliary line. Could you find some time to explain the final math problems to me? In return, I'll help you with your English pronunciation. I recognized her. She was Violet, the English class representative and a regular at the math team meetings. Tutoring someone can deepen your own understanding of the material. That was my mindset when I was helping Selena, too. But she never actually listened to me. Now, Violet's offer was mutually beneficial. After thinking for only 3 seconds, I nodded in agreement. Okay. Suddenly, a message popped up in the class group chat. Someone from behind had taken a photo of Violet and me from the back. The angle was tricky. It made us look very close. So Louis didn't move because of the other guy. He's obviously just fickle and playing the field. Selena, seriously? Can't even keep your boyfriends in line? The person quickly deleted the message. The class was quiet. Everyone was secretly looking at their phones, and when they looked up, all eyes were on us. Violet slowly typed a question mark. This new student, is he staging this whole thing? Planning to apply to the drama department? Someone snickered. Caleb's face turned beet red. So class officers can just team up and bully new students? His eyes were a little red, as if he'd been terribly wronged. His fingers clutched the sleeve of Selena's school uniform. Selena, they're ganging up on me. Violet looked up and let out a soft HM. This counts as bullying you? Then when you were spreading rumors and slandering your old classmate, did that count as bullying? And actually, Violet opened her phone. I took a screenshot. We can have our homeroom teacher help analyze it. Selena frowned. Hey Violet, you're a girl. It's not great to be so aggressive with your words. Give him a break. The more she talked, the messier it got. The teacher's footsteps were already echoing in the hallway. Seeing that Selena was about to blow up, I put on a stern face. The evidence is right there, and you're still trying to downplay it. Do you really want to make such a scene at school that everyone has to see who's number one in your heart? She froze. A strange look of delight appeared on her face. The teacher pushed open the door. Everyone's attention shifted to the front of the class. A male voice muttered from behind me. Let's be real, he's just jealous. He only moved seats to get a reaction out of Selena. During a pause in the teacher's lecture, I wrote "I'm sorry" on my scratch paper. Violet looked at me quizzically. Her pen tip drew a light, thin line under the words "I'm sorry." What does any of this have to do with you? But I knew Caleb was spreading rumors because I was sitting here. She seemed to read my mind. You're not the one who should be apologizing. Focus on your work. Her handwriting was neat and strong. The frustration in my heart was strangely soothed by her words. I took a deep breath and refocused my attention on the formula. During study hall, Violet leaned closer. Shouldn't the auxiliary line for this problem be drawn from here? Connect BD to construct this right-angle triangle. I followed her finger to bang. A loud noise from the back shattered my concentration. Selena shot up from her seat, her face pale with anger. Louis, are you guys ever going to stop? The whole class was silent. The teacher's chalk stopped mid-air. Selena, what are you doing? She didn't seem to hear, her voice tight with suppressed rage. Louis, are you two ever going to stop? Violet's voice was cold. We're discussing a problem. What's your issue? Do you need to be that close to discuss a problem? Caleb sneered, his meaning clear. He was silently pouring fuel on the fire. I looked at her. If you think we're being loud, you can ask the teacher to switch seats. Or you could tell your number one to quiet down. His laughter is no quieter than our discussion. Caleb was taken aback. What? Why are you dragging me into this? Selena acted like her tail had been stepped on. Why are you dragging him into this? I'm talking about you too. What about us? Violet didn't back down. We're having a normal discussion with our desk mate about schoolwork. Do we need your permission? In what capacity are you questioning us? As his childhood sweetheart? I shook my head gently. She's not. The teacher slammed his hand on the podium. All of you, be quiet. Selena, sit down now. If you disrupt the class again, you're getting out. Selena stood there stubbornly, her lips pressed together. Then she suddenly sat down, the chair making another screeching sound. For the rest of the class, a low-pressure system hung over the back of the room. I could feel a pair of eyes drilled into my back. Violet was silent for a moment, then passed me a new note. You okay? I wrote back. Let's keep solving the problem. The bell rang. Selena strode over and blocked my desk. We need to talk, she said stiffly. Is there something you need to discuss away from your number one? I didn't look at her, trying to walk past. She grabbed my wrist hard. It hurt. Louis, she hissed, her voice filled with frustrated anger. Do you have to be so passive-aggressive? Is this all because Caleb is here? Violet stood up, her eyes turning cold. Let go. Selena ignored her, staring only at me. I just want to know what you're doing right now. Sitting with someone else, having a nice chat? Are you doing this on purpose to make me watch? She sounded like she was accusing me. as if I was the one who had done something wrong. Selena, he wanted the seat. I gave it to him. Are you regretting it now? Or do you think I should just quietly stay in my old spot, waiting for you to occasionally throw me some attention, even when you have someone else by your side? I tried to pull my hand back, but she gripped it even tighter. What do you mean, orbiting around you? We agreed. Her tone grew urgent. We agreed we'd go to UCLA together. The way you're acting now. Acting how? Is it getting in the way of you having one on each arm? You. Her face flushed, choked by my words. Caleb sauntered over. Hey, don't fight, beautiful. He's just upset about being around people of questionable character. He glanced at Violet, his meaning unclear. Violet let out a cold laugh. Can't compete with you. You're a real disruption to people's studies. I got distracted. That rhymed pretty well. The students around us were whispering. Selena couldn't take the embarrassment and blurted out. Is it just because she has good grades? Is that why you couldn't wait to switch? I never knew you were this kind of person. I yanked my hand away with all my strength. A clear red mark circled my wrist. Selena, does turning this around on me make everyone forget what you did? What just happened? Your number one friend kicked me out of my seat. Do you think our classmates have no memory? Caleb's arm was draped over Selena's shoulder. Come on, man. It's just a seat. Don't be so petty. It's not about the seat, I said, annoyed. They were seriously disrupting my studies. He wanted the seat and I gave it to him. Can you please stop bothering me so I can get back to studying? I really don't want to get involved in your little childhood romance drama. Caleb cut in, whoa, beautiful. Look how you've spoiled him. Selena seemed to have found an out, and her tone softened. Caleb was just joking. You never used to be so petty. Why are you so sensitive now? Chalk dust floated in the air. Talking to people who refuse to understand is truly suffocating. You're right.
I'm petty.
I nodded. Petty enough to waste my own time tutoring you. Petty enough to run to the airport to pick someone up just because you asked, and petty enough to stay for some stupid party. Selena, have you ever wondered why I wasn't like this before? She was stunned. I said, because before, I didn't have to stand there like an idiot watching you two laugh and flirt, and I didn't have my study time interrupted over and over again. She seemed to remember something, and her face went a little pale. Studying, it's not like you can't spare a little time. Besides, it's not like you had to sit with Violet. Her words made me laugh. So you want to join us? Can you even keep up with my pace? Can you understand the problems I'm explaining? My gaze swept over her, then over to the frozen expression on Caleb's face. Or do you just think that if you show him a little favoritism, I'll get sad, get jealous, and go back to orbiting around you like before just to prove how important you are? Selena's lips moved, her eyes frantic, but she couldn't say a single word. The answer was written all over her face. I had guessed right. A huge wave of exhaustion washed over me. I bent down, took out the notebook I had spent countless hours on, the one with all the key points and problem-solving strategies detailed just for her, and right in front of her, without hesitation, Raya. The thick notebook was torn in half. Louis, she gasped, trying to snatch it. I ripped it again and again until it was just a pile of scrap paper, and then I tossed it into the trash can next to me. Selena, I said, looking her straight in the eye, each word crystal clear, take your number one and stay away from me. Your UCLA dream? You can get there on your own. We're done. After that, I didn't look at her instantly ashen face or pay any mind to the dead silence in the air and Caleb's shocked expression. I turned around, sat back down, and opened a new practice test. The school bell rang right on time. Violet secretly gave me a thumbs up. New deskmate, you're a legend. The bell for the last class of the day released the restless energy. I packed my bag. Selena shuffled over, tapping on the edge of my desk. Walk home together? The sound of my zipper closing was crisp and final. I slung my backpack over my shoulder and walked out without looking at her. She froze for a second, then immediately grabbed her bag and followed, catching up to me in a few steps. About today, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things to you. But Caleb, that's just his personality. He's loud and thoughtless, but he doesn't mean any harm. The hallway was noisy. Her explanation was swallowed by the crowd, then resurfaced. He just got here and he's not familiar with a lot of things. I just had to take extra care of him. She tried to read my expression. But we're the ones who've always been together, right? I didn't stop walking, my gaze fixed on the stream of people flowing out. She got a little anxious and reached for my backpack strap, but I sidestepped her. That notebook, her breath hitched. I'll buy you a new one tomorrow. Can you highlight the key points for me again, please? This time, I promise I'll listen. I'll follow along with whatever you're teaching. No need, I said calmly. Have Caleb do it for you. He grew up with you, he should understand you better. Her face went pale. That's not what I meant. The whole first and second place thing, that was just a joke to humor him. Why are you taking it so seriously? I'm not taking it seriously. I finally stopped and looked at her. Selena, when I say we're done, we're done. The notebook is done. The tutoring is done. And walking to and from school together is done. She looked like she was nailed to the spot, her face turning shades of pale and green. Is it because of the seat? Or because of Caleb? She seemed unable to comprehend. Her voice tinged with a hurt bitterness. I told you he was coming before he even arrived. It was just a seat. Is it really that big of a deal? I'll go talk to Caleb, tell him to give it back to you. Okay? She tried to soften her voice, adding a hint of nostalgia. Don't you remember? Back when we started high school, they were changing seats in class, and I was the one who begged the teacher to put us together. I promised your mom I'd take care of you at school, make sure you could study in peace, and that no one would bother you. You heard me say it. Her eyes were locked on mine. We agreed. I have to look out for you. Selena. I looked straight at her, clearly seeing the panic in her eyes. The person who's disrupting my studies, wasting my time, and now standing in my way, keeping me from going home to do my work. Who is that, exactly? Her smile froze on her face. Behind her, the sound of Caleb's running footsteps approached. Selena, why are you running so fast? Selena instinctively stopped in her tracks. I didn't look at her again and turned toward the school gate. She snapped back to reality and chased after me again. This time she didn't mention the notebook or tutoring, just followed silently half a step behind me. The atmosphere was stiff. We were almost home. She finally threw caution to the wind and blocked my path. That notebook, you put so much effort into it. I'll go buy a brand new one tomorrow. Can you just mark it up for me one more time? Please? Like that time in freshman year when I bombed my physics test, you helped me just like that. Hope ignited in her eyes. Your mom even said back then that it takes a dumb student like me to force you to explain things more clearly, that it was good for you too. We were helping each other, weren't we? She brought up the joke between our parents. The night air was a bit chilly, making everything feel exceptionally clear. Selena, I helped you on the condition that I had the extra energy and that you were willing to listen. Right now, neither of those things is true. I watched as the light in her eyes instantly faded. You're still losing a ton of points on basic problems. And the hardest questions can't be solved with just one notebook. In your current state, you don't deserve a notebook I poured my heart into. The muscles in her cheeks tightened abruptly. As for it being good for me, I let out a small laugh. You're right, it helped me completely understand that every extra minute wasted on pointless social interactions is a crime against my own future. A bright, cheerful voice cut in. Selena, what are you dawdling for? I caught up to you. Caleb acted as if he'd just noticed me. Huh? His eyes darted between me and Selena, finally landing on her face. He snickered. What's wrong with you? Looking all down in the dumps. He nudged Selena with his elbow. Did you apologize to your dear Lewis? Selena's lips moved, but no sound came out. Caleb didn't seem to care. He reached out with extreme casualness and wiped a smudge of dirt from her forehead. All right, let's go. He naturally grabbed Selena's wrist. We've got to fight over the game console tonight. Oh, and your mom said the AC in my room is broken, so I have to crash on your floor tonight. You promised you'd share your blanket. The air froze. Selena's expression changed dramatically. She tried to cover his mouth. Caleb sputtered, "What's the big deal?" is just sleeping on the floor. He's a good student, he doesn't even sit with you anymore. It's not like he'd care. Selena looked as if all her strength had drained away. She let him pull her along. I was left standing there, watching their two figures, practically glued together, disappear around the corner. The streetlight stretched my shadow long and lonely. I took a deep breath, the cold air filling my lungs and washing away the stagnation. That's how it is. On the path forward in life, you always have to shed some trash. The next day, I woke up even earlier. The morning light was faint. The classroom was dotted with a few boarding students, their heads buried in their books. I spread out my worksheet, and the soft scratching of my pen on the paper became the most calming background noise. I don't know how much time passed before a shadow fell over me. Violet put down her backpack, her voice slightly hoarse from sleep. This early? Yeah. I didn't look up, my pen never stopping. She sat down, took out her English vocabulary book, and didn't say another word. A comfortable silence spread between us. The hallway gradually grew noisier. The sound of footsteps and laughter came from far away and drew near. Caleb was practically hanging off Selena's arm as she half-dragged, half-pulled him into the classroom. Hey, slow down. My shoelace is untied. Tie it yourself. You're so spoiled. Selena's tone was impatient, but she still slowed her pace. She looked up, her gaze subconsciously sweeping toward my seat. When she saw I was already there, and then saw Violet next to me, her expression stiffened. Caleb followed her gaze and sneered, putting on a show. Throughout the entire day of classes, I could feel a gaze from behind me, carrying some kind of unextinguished spark. I didn't turn around once. During our physics group discussion, the teacher told us to form groups with those sitting nearby. From the back row came Caleb's excited voice. Selena, quick, we're a team. I was naturally in a group with Violet. We divided up the tasks quickly and worked with high efficiency. During a break in our discussion, I caught a glimpse of Selena starting to walk over a few times, only to be forcefully pulled back by Caleb. What are you looking at? This problem is hard. Hurry up and think. She was distracted, restlessly spinning her pen between her fingers. The third mock exam was next week. A chorus of groans filled the classroom. Caleb poked Selena's back with the cap of his pen. Hey, beautiful. I'm counting on you this time. You have to get me into the top 30. Selena mumbled an indistinct reply. When the bell rang, I was organizing my notes. Selena shuffled over. Lewis, I didn't stop what I was doing. That mock exam on Wednesday, she said, her voice dry. How's your studying going? I closed my notebook and stood up, planning to get some water. She blocked the aisle, her tone a little more urgent. That notebook, could you highlight the key points for me again? Or, could I study with you? Just like before. The water bottle felt cool in my hand. I looked up at her. Her eyes were filled with pleading and a hint of veiled hope, as if my slightest nod would be a gift she'd gratefully accept before returning to her old spot. My voice was calm. Stop coming to me. Her face turned deathly pale in an instant. I already came to apologize. I turned and walked away. I filled up a cup of water and handed it to Violet. Your turn to tutor me. The results came out quickly. The ranking list was posted in the most conspicuous spot. First place, Violet. Second place, me. The score gap was negligible. Selena's name hung precariously in the middle to lower section, a few spots lower than last time. Caleb was buried even further down the list. You needed some patience to find him. During the break, a crowd gathered around the ranking list. As I passed by, I heard Caleb's raised voice. What a garbage test. Why were the questions so hard? Selena, you're slipping too. You promised you'd carry me. Selena didn't say a word, her face grim as she stared at my name on the list. I walked past without a change in expression. During math class, we were going over the test. The last problem was very difficult. Only Violet and I in the entire class had gotten it right. The teacher called my name. Lewis, your thinking on this problem was very clear. Come up and explain your solution to the class. I stood up. From the back row came a suppressed snicker. Caleb covered his mouth. Oops, didn't mean to do that. The classroom quieted for a moment. Selena suddenly yanked his arm and hissed, "That's enough." I had already turned back around. I ignored that level of provocation, walked straight to the podium, and picked up a piece of chalk. The white powder fell softly as the clear steps and formulas gradually filled the blackboard. From the audience, a few sighs of understanding could be heard. The teacher nodded in satisfaction. "Very good, you can go back to your seat." I walked back to my seat. My phone buzzed. "He has issues, don't be mad." "I'm sorry." I turned off the screen as if I hadn't seen it. What good is an apology? A late apology is lighter than chalk dust. Time seemed to wind up, accelerating through a flurry of countless test papers and countdowns. Violet and I became an increasingly synchronized team. We were no longer limited to just explaining problems. We started quizzing each other on classical literature, asking questions about English essays, and using the briefest possible terms to communicate our problem-solving strategies. The efficiency was astounding. Selena seemed to try to pull herself together a few times, but she was always interrupted by Caleb in one way or another. He would either drag her away to complain about how hard the problems were, pester her to go buy snacks after class, or simply snatch her pen when she was trying to read. The frustration on her face became more and more apparent. Occasionally, she would lash out at him. "Can you just be quiet for a second?" Caleb would first be stunned, then shout back even louder. "Selena, are you yelling at me? You never used to be like this." Such a familiar line. A few times after that, I saw Selena give up and slam her books down. Watching it all, I felt like I was watching a clumsy, badly acted play. The countdown to the college entrance exams turned a bright, glaring red 30. The atmosphere in the classroom became incredibly tense. Even the most boisterous students quieted down considerably. Caleb also felt the pressure and would occasionally calm down. But most of the time, he was clinging to Selena, whining, "What are we going to do, beautiful? My parents will kill me if I do poorly. You have to help me." Selena was silent, her eyes filled with dark circles and a sense of confusion. Until one day after school, when almost everyone had left, Selena came back. "Louis, does it have to be like this? How did we end up like this?" My pen tip paused. I finally looked up at her. She had lost some weight, and the old confidence in her expression was gone, replaced by a deep exhaustion from being pulled in different directions. I said, "You're the one who chose this path." She was at a loss for words, a pained look flashing across her face. I just felt like Caleb had just arrived, and I couldn't just ignore him. I didn't think. She hadn't thought I would take it seriously, and she hadn't thought I would leave. I knew. Her face was pale and she couldn't speak. I smiled. "You enjoyed the excitement and attention he brought you, but you weren't willing to give up the stability and academic help I gave you. You can't have it both ways in this world. You're the one who made the choice on this multiple choice question." The answer was revealed a long time ago. She took an eager step forward. "I know now. Just give me one more chance. After the exams, we can..." "No." I stood up and put on my backpack. "Don't look back. We both have to move forward." Her body shuddered violently. The light in her eyes faded bit by bit, leaving only a dull grayness. At the end of the hall, Violet was leaning against the wall, waiting. "You're late." "Yeah, had to take out some trash." Walking down the stairs side by side, she suddenly asked me, "Confident? Feeling okay? Where are you planning to apply?" I thought for a moment. "I want to aim for one of the top-tier universities." "Okay, I get it." The final days. Time was compressed like a sponge. Sometimes, I would hear their voices around a corner in the hallway. "Selena, how do you do this problem? Just tell me." Caleb was getting anxious. "I don't know either. Can't you just try to think for yourself for once?" "I'm stressed out too. Why are you yelling at me? If you hadn't been so busy with, would I be this clueless right now? My fault?" "Caleb, be reasonable. Who was the one dragging me out to play every day? Who was the one?" The argument would stop abruptly when I passed by. When Selena saw me, her expression would become incredibly complicated. Caleb would glare at me, his eyes red. I acted as if I didn't see them. The truth is, we had already reached a fork in the road before we even became adults. Middle school was one. The college entrance exams were the most important one. Their world had nothing to do with mine anymore. And I had a clear, defined goal. A place at that top-tier university. The day of the exams, the weather was beautiful. The school gate was packed with people. I checked my admission ticket and stationery one last time, took a deep breath, and prepared to enter the exam hall. Louis. I stopped. Selena was standing not far behind me. It looked like she had 1,000 things to say, but in the end, she only managed to squeeze out 2 dry words. Good luck. I nodded. You too. Her lips moved a few times, but finally, her shoulders just slumped in defeat. Yeah. The moment I turned and merged into the crowd, I thought I heard her say, very softly, I'm sorry. 2 days passed in a flash. Handing in the last exam paper, the sunlight was so bright it was almost blinding. The crowd instantly erupted into a cacophony of sounds, cheers, tears, arguments over answers. It was like a movie that had suddenly had its volume cranked all the way up. Violet squeezed through the crowd, her eyes shining. The last big problem. Which auxiliary line did you use? Connected point C to the midpoint of EF, I answered. A smile spread across her face. Same. The days waiting for the results felt even longer than the days spent studying. I got a part-time job at a library, and my days were filled with the scent of books and silence. On the day the scores were released, I was still in the library organizing shelves. My phone started vibrating wildly in my pocket. The first call was from my homeroom teacher. His voice so excited it was distorted. Top 10 in the state. Louis, top 10 in the state for science. You're the pride of our school. Then came a text from Violet, short and to the point. 9th. You? I replied. 7th. She sent back a smiley face. As expected. Then came calls and texts from my parents, relatives, classmates. My phone got so hot it felt like it was about to melt. Amid all the congratulatory noise, a text message lay quietly in my inbox from a number I had long since deleted but still recognized. Congratulations. A moment later, another one came in. I'm sorry. My finger hovered over the screen for a moment. Then I calmly swiped left and deleted it. Everything had settled into place. The day I left home was a bright, clear morning. My parents insisted on seeing me off at the train station, fussing over me the entire way. I listened patiently, my heart filled with anticipation for a new life and a subtle, unacknowledged pang of sadness at leaving. The platform was bustling with people, filled with the sounds of farewells. My parents fussed over me for a long time before finally leaving, their eyes red as they looked back every few steps. I was pulling my suitcase, about to get on the train. Louis, a familiar voice, clear and pleasant, came from behind me. Violet was standing a few steps away. She looked at me, not a hint of surprise in her eyes, as if she were just showing up for a long scheduled journey together. Fancy seeing you here, I said, a smile pulling at the corners of my mouth. She walked closer, a faint smile in her voice. Yeah, what a coincidence. It must be fate. The feeling is mutual. The station announcement came on, urging passengers to board. We looked at each other and smiled. No more words needed. She glanced at my slightly heavy suitcase and said with a laugh, Let's go. New classmate. Okay. I heard later. Selena and Caleb both ended up at ordinary state schools. Their universities were far apart, and it seemed they didn't get to continue their #1 story as someone might have wished. Not long into college, whatever lukewarm feelings born of dependence and habit had fizzled out, worn down by distance and reality. Sunlight streamed down through the huge glass dome of the station. It stretched our shadows long, making them merge together, pointing toward the future. The train roared as it pulled away from the platform, the familiar city scenery flying backward outside the window. A new chapter was slowly beginning.